Why is Talmudic Judaism different from Old Testament Judaism? Well, there is no such thing as Old Testament Judaism and Talmudic Judaism. There is Judaism. That's it. The written Torah and the oral Torah are one. They're not two of the different. Now, what the problem is, what the Christian missionaries that sometimes call themselves Messianic Jews or Hebrew Israelites or the people from Islam will sometimes tell you things about the written Torah and things about the oral Torah in order to confuse you and mislead you. But what they don't tell you is that there would be no religion at all, not Judaism, not Christianity, and not Islam, without the oral Torah, which the primary part of the oral Torah is the Talmud. And the reason why is because part of what the oral Torah does is it gives us a understanding of what the oral Torah, what the written Torah actually says, the Old Testament actually says. So for example, in the book of Genesis, God says to Avraham to have a circumcision, to cut something called orla. Now, what is orla? Now, you're not going to find this word many times in the Torah. And in fact, you're never going to find a verse that gives you the definition for the word orla. So, if God says, cut this orla from your body, the average male, you tell him, listen, God loves you, but he says that in order for you to show your love to him, and your commitment, you have to cut a piece of your body called orla. Now you're going to ask the first question, if you're a smart person, you're going to say, okay, what's an orla? What's an orla? Now, if you're even smarter, you're not going to ask. You're going to simply determine, since they didn't tell me what the orla is, I'll just determine what the orla is. So maybe it's a piece of my ear, cut off a little earlobe, much easier than circumcision. Maybe it's the nails. I cut off a nail, much easier than even the earlobe. Maybe it's it's a hair. Maybe, what you could just simply decide. Obviously, if Avraham Avinu understood that the orla is the foreskin on the male member, the most sensitive part of the body, and he's still willing to do it at the age of 100, and then commit this very same act for the next 4,000 years until this day, every Jewish baby that's born on the 8th day, unless they're medically unable to because they're sick or they're weak, on the 8th day, they have the very same circumcision that Avraham Avinu had at 100 years old. Why didn't anybody reject it? Why didn't anybody throughout the last 4,000 years say, you know what, I think orla means something else. Maybe it means the nails, maybe it means the beard, maybe it means the nose, maybe it means a tooth, anything but the foreskin. But nobody ever said that. Everyone agreed, including the Christians, including the Muslims, that the orla has always been the foreskin. Where did you get the definition? It's not in the written Torah, it's not in the Old Testament. Where did you get it from? The oral Torah. The oral Torah is what gives us that. The same exact thing is in every other aspect of the Torah, so much so that the vowel system is not part of the written Torah. Meaning, if you go to a synagogue, every synagogue has multiple Torah scrolls. You open a Torah scroll, all Torah scrolls are going to show you the same exact thing. It's going to be black ink on a parchment that's white, and the words don't have the dots, the dashes, don't have beginning or ending of statements. There's no sentences that are like structure of English and other languages. There's no vowel systems, no punctuation system on the Torah scroll. So how do you know where the sentence ends or where it begins, or even how to pronounce the word or what the word means? Because in English you have a letter-based vowel system, A, E, I, or U, and sometimes Y. But in Hebrew, there is no letters that are the vowel system. Rather, there is the dots that you have under or inside the letters, or the dashes. This is called nikud. This is not part of the written Torah. This is something that is taught to us in the oral Torah, which means that without it, you simply would not have the ability to understand a single verse in the Torah.